Hey everybody, on this episode of the GH Report, we're going to break down the week that was in Port Charles. Sometimes a show challenges you to watch it. This was such a week. Let's do it.
You're tuning into the destination for TV superfan discussion, AFTERBUZZ TV. And now, let the buzz begin.
Yeah, yes. As always, when you hear that song on a Sunday afternoon or early evening, there you go. That means it's only one thing. It's the GH Report here on AFTERBUZZ TV. And there's just the two of us. Look at this.
I know, and then there were two.
For Lacretia. Yep. There you go. You've got you've got a full show for Lacretia today. Hey everybody, I'm one of your hosts, Frank Moran. You can follow me on Twitter at HappyGoJackie.
And I'm Lacretia Lyon, guys, so you can always find me at LACRETIALYON anywhere on the internet, since there is only one. And one precursor, since it is the premiere of The Walking Dead. I know we've already said this in the chat, but just to reiterate, you will be banned for life if you do any spoilers, because we are here bringing this show to you instead of watching right now. So just be courteous.
Trust me, she is not messing around.
I already said it in the chat.
That's right. Alexis is not messing around. She's in the booth.
Heads will roll.
Yes. Vengeance will be quick from these two if anything spoiled. Our proud leader, our Papa Bear, James Lott Jr., he is away this weekend, but he will be back here next week, and we're going to have a really cool guest. We'll tell you a little bit about that later in the show. But let's just jump into the week that was. As I started at the beginning, man, this is a rough week. This was a rough week. Forewarned, there will be some nice little bright moments here, but overwhelmingly, it was a tough week of shows to watch. What do you think?
Yeah, and I think it's because the last week had been so good. It was just like this week was crap. I mean, I don't have a nicer word to say. I mean, that was me sugarcoating it. There were some bright spots, like Finn and Hayden I thought were great. Griffin had his shirt off, aka Dr. Hot Priest, and Tracy was there. But other than that, I'm trying to think of anything other. Felicia and Anna. I was like, that happened.
Yeah, that's
I was
right.
like that.
Yeah, but hey, remember
Yeah.
Felicia? It still lives in Port Charles. That was one of those weeks. And always, folks, you can like us on Facebook, give us those 5 stars on iTunes, subscribe to the YouTube channel, hop in the chat. Lacretia, of course, is manning that. Keeping ever aware of those Walking Dead spoilers. So be on your guard. And if you have any comments about the week that was here in Port Charles, feel free to chime in, or you can just yell at us if we're being too critical about everything, which we probably will be for the most part. But let's just jump right into it. We'll start off with some good stuff. Franco and Liz.
Yeah, that was a good spot. I really like, when her talking to Laura. It was such a good scene because Laura does understand Liz's point of view, and they've always had this good mother-daughter relationship. So that was one of the nice things this week. And then Franco listening in, but he wasn't weird. He's just like thinking about, she does love me. Oh,
I'm so glad it went that route, as opposed to her just having kind of reluctance and then him just off the side like stewing, like, what's going on?
They listened to you, Frank, that you were tired of that.
Yes, I was so tired. I was so tired of that. It just and then Franco starts sulking, and then we have to have like a week or two of them kind of just apart and then brought back together. So I'm glad it was only nice things that he overheard, and so I was like, all right, cool. All right, this is working out well. And Liz got to see some of his sketches.
Yeah, I like that. And that's something that I hate that they've sort of missed the boat with Liz, is Liz doing art with him, because that was a big part of her character. And, hopefully they're getting to that, because they really do work well together. It's one of those couples that you didn't think about it at first, but once they started putting them in scenes together, and then you realize the similarities, like being a pariah, being an artist, and, all the loss that they've sort of had to deal with, you get it.
Yeah, absolutely. And the one thing is, like, Franco's like, hey, you still owe me a painting. She's like, well, I need to make money, so I need to get a job. And if they're not opening Port Charles, I got to find something else to do, somewhere to go. I don't want to have to leave town, but I might have to. And, this, I guess, we can tie this in with the GH closing storyline. Yeah. This is killing me, man. I just don't know what the storyline benefits of watching so many people looking for jobs. Oh, come on.
Yeah, to me, I have a feeling that maybe they're doing this because they're working on a new set for GH. At least that's what I'm hoping. So there's an explanation of why we're holding out. And I did like that Franco immediately thought, I think I know who did that. My mom.
And one thing that Lucy, of course, Tracy confronts Lucy about everything that she's been doing to possibly help in the sale of GH, maybe getting converted into condos. And Lucy's idea was like, hey, you know what, your family's not that great. You guys put us in this situation, but you know what you could do? You could save everything by buying GH. It could be the Tracy Quartermaine Hospital.
I have a feeling that it will become the Edward and Alan Quartermaine Hospital in their memory. And that's something I would like to see. Is, you know, really making it about the Quartermaines and their memory and their legacy. And, you know, it's unfortunate that the Weber family doesn't have money to donate and could possibly get their name on it, since, it, you know, the Hardys were a big part of that.
Yeah, that's very true. That would be cool. I mean, and if that's going to be the way that we get out of the storyline, is that Tracy uses some of the ELQ finances to take control of the hospital, then I guess that could be worth it. But
yeah.
Man, in the meantime, though, watching everybody just like, watching like Liesl Obrecht, like making calls and being denied jobs, like at Mercy, and Finn wondering about where he's going to be able to do his research and stuff, like, ooh, this is kind of tiresome to watch all week.
Yeah, I did like that Obrecht talked about it with Ava. I'd never really seen them together, and that was interesting. But yeah, there's everybody needs a job because the hospital's out. It's like, well, we all need to change the channel and get a job.
Yeah. There's sometimes when you're watching soap opera, you want to be at least, kind of distracted by your own problems. You don't want to be reminded, like, you know what, I also don't have a job. Oh, yeah, I guess my bills aren't getting paid either. wait a second. I don't want to be reminded of this. But as you mentioned up that Franco went and talked to Heather, because there's still the reason that they can't open GH yet is that they still don't know who was responsible for the attacks on Bobby and Lucas. And Franco's meant, well, you know what? I might have an idea about who that is.
Yeah, I like that, because that's what I always thought, too, because, Paul never mentioned Bobby or, the Jones family at all. So I was like, yeah, I don't think he did that one. And to be honest, I feel that they did this way in advance before they knew Paul and this whole story was coming out. So they had to figure out a way to pull themselves out of it.
Yeah, because, for some reason I thought that in Heather's, where she's incarcerated at now, was like really locking her down from her extracurricular activities. But it just seems like, nope, no matter where you put her, she's always going to find a way out.
Yeah, and to me, it's like, did she do it or have someone else? But she doesn't really have, lackeys like, say, a Julian or Valentine.
No, I always feel like her lackeys are just the people that will let her out of places and let her back in. They don't actually go and do her dirty work for her. She seems to like to do that hands-on. But that also, like, are you saying that Lucas got overwhelmed by Heather Weber? Come on.
Yeah.
No way.
That's the thing, is even if she came from behind and surprised him, Lucas is a pretty fit guy. He could have easily fought her off.
I would think so, too. And, certainly she could be wearing a surgical mask, maybe wearing a cap to kind of, keep her hair up in there. But I'm still thinking there's a difference between, I think you would know if you're with a woman or a man. You would at least be able to tell that part, wouldn't you?
You'd think, but, we just did Rocky Horror of a Broadway breakdown, and remember Brad couldn't tell Frankenfurter from a woman, so I guess we're supposed to, suspend belief here.
All right. All right, well, we'll just jump into one of those storylines that drove me bonkers this week. Claudette's just a jerk. She is.
Yeah, that's the thing, is I love Brie Williamson, and this character does excite me in a way because her crazy is, like, fun and interesting, and she has that way about her that has chemistry with Nathan and Griffin, and her, play with Maxie is so fun. But at the same time, I'm just like, how is anybody like you? You are just awful, because I don't think this kid is Griffin's either. As we thought last week, and I'm still saying it, it's Lulu and Stavros' kid. It's not even her kid.
I have to think that it can't be either one of them, because the way that she's just so comfortable just quickly changing, like, hey, meet your father. Oh, guess what now? No, this is really your father. Meet your father here. I don't think a real mother would be that comfortable, like, switching and making a child kind of identify with somebody else so quickly.
I would hope not, because, it's just so awful. This poor little girl is like, and she ran to Nathan, and it was like, that was so sad, because you can tell Griffin and Nathan both are innocent in this situation. All they want to do is the right thing. And then you've got this crazy bitch and, like, screwing with her own child that hopefully isn't biologically hers.
I gotta believe that it's not, but it'll be curious to see how this all came about. Clearly she's been around from the beginning, so that Charlotte does think that she's her daughter, but she really can't be. There's no way, because that is just that's just so despicable, the way she was treating her this week.
Oh yeah, like, oh no, this is your daddy, and I was like, hold the phone. This can't be her actual mother. And I know Cheryl Hawk points out it's not old enough, or is too old, actually, she corrects herself here, to be Lulu and Stavros' kid. I don't think so. I think, in soaps, aging is different. And to me, it's just like, with the whole Claudette, Griffin, Nathan, like we say, this woman isn't a mother, or she would have way more concern for this child's well-being. And
certainly, while it may not in real time have been that long that we've been talking about Lulu and Stavros and the embryo, it feels like it's been forever. Yeah. So just the way I feel about how long Lulu's been talking about this embryo, I feel like Charlotte could be the real daughter in that real-time age.
Exactly. And then Cheryl again says, how could the child be older than Rocco? All the eggs were harvested at the same time. It's like, that's true, but have we seen Rocco in a long time? I mean, who knows? He may be, walking, talking, doing all sorts of stuff.
He's going to have like that little faux mustache starting to grow. That's how much they've aged him up since then. So it was interesting because she leaves Charlotte there with Nathan and Maxie, and then she goes off and she talks to Griffin there at the boxing ring.
That was,
Griffin,
yeah. That was really one of the best scenes this week. He was just shirtless, went boxing. But yeah, that was, again, one of the only bright spots.
But, I mean, Claudette, certainly there is some sort of connection between the two of them, and as much as Griffin tries to deny it, he can't. But then I just love, as soon as they start making out, Claudette's like, yes, she has to keep talking. She talks it right out of there. Like, Claudette, just shut up and just keep kissing.
Yeah, because that's the thing, is he is attracted to her, but he is this really good guy. I mean, he's a priest, he's a doctor, all this, and then she's just such an awful person, and he's like, I feel so bad for being attracted to her. No, no, no. And then even when she pulls him in, she just can't help herself.
I know, she just had to keep rubbing it in, look at this, we're not worrying about any higher powers or anything like that. And it's like, why are you saying this?
Yeah.
Stop it.
That's obviously important to him, and that's how he thought you were, because didn't they meet at the church?
Yeah. And it's like Claudette, you're finally getting what you want. You get this guy, and you're going to get it on, and then you got to keep just blab, 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 blab. Oh, Claudette.
Oh.
But I'll give it up for Maxie, though.
Yeah.
Man, she was spot on in realizing, hey, this isn't your kid, and going about trying to figure out what the identity was. And that was a super fast DNA test that they got.
Yeah, they must have had Maury's guy on speed dial.
I guess so. Because I can understand one thing at a hospital or from a police department, you can kind of rush those, especially if you have connections. But just using one of those mail order kind of DNA tests, that was fast.
Yeah, and Maxie knows her way around a DNA test, So that was really interesting. And I love how when she got called out on it, yeah, I did it, but that's because I want to know now so you don't get attached.
Yeah.
And even Nathan's like, okay, I get it.
Absolutely, and I like how Nathan was smart enough to figure out how they would have gotten that sample of DNA to use for the original test when Claudette gave it to them.
Yeah, because who could believe that hair was hers anyway? Everyone even questioned it. It's a little too dark. And then to have it be Liesl's, it's like, that's crazy town.
Oh, man. It's just such a mess. And there's just so many scenes there with Claudette where she's so... she's not apologetic at all about anything that she's done. And when Griffin and Nathan are both just like, what are you doing to this? Do you want me to say I'm sorry? Fine, I'm sorry. You're not. You're just really, she feels like she's always in the wrong. And she's being, looked down as guilty. Like, why are you guys being mad at me? Come on.
Why are you always picking on me?
Yeah.
Little old me. And it's like, seriously? You are Ava Jr. And I love it to an extent, but then it gets to where it's like, no, but they should make her Ava's daughter, since they're way more alike than her and Kiki.
You know what I will get up for is, she crossed Liesl, and during that first interaction with Liesl, she was really, she was up front. It's like, if you're screwing around with me, you do not want to do that. And so what I like is that anytime Liesl's been against somebody, it's been against people that we've liked, whether it be Robin, it be Finn, people that we care about. When we're like, oh, come on, Liesl, just get off their back because we know they're cool. Now, Claudette, I'm fine. Liesl, go after her full bore. Let's do it.
Yeah, I really loved how Maxie and Liesl have kind of bonded over hating her.
Yes.
And I'm like, because they are a lot more alike than they realize. And I like that, Liesl has this good relationship with Maxie, because Maxie is good to Nathan. And, when they're talking about Claudette screwing Nathan over and lying about the kid, you know that Liesl has had a number on her.
Oh. Yeah. I just finally, please, Liesl, writers, please just have her attacking Claudette. Just I want to see her going after somebody and feel like I can root for Liesl, because never in any storyline am I rooting for Liesl. So now put me in the position. Let me root for Liesl. I want to be on her side, going, yes, all right, crush her, let's do it.
Do it. Do it.
But of course, Maxie, she can't leave well enough alone, so that's why she has Liesl come over to watch Charlotte. She wants to go over and put her 2 cents in, because she was already mad that Nathan was boxing her out to begin with. I want to be there to tell her off, too.
Yeah.
He goes into the hotel room and finds out that there's some thug tossing it all over. Oh, man. But Maxie's attempts at escape this whole week were just terrible.
I know. Maxie's a smart girl, and she tends to get herself in trouble, but she's usually pretty good about getting out of it. That's why I really didn't like that they made her a victim, because Maxie's not a victim.
Yeah. And I liked when she was there, she was down in the basement with that guy, and that she was calm and cool, and I was like, let her just talk her way out of this. That would have been cool to see. Because I think she could have... I think Maxie's smart enough that she could have played off everything and not even just played ignorant to the existence of Charlotte, because they had already had such a checkered past when Claudette first came to town just over at Crimson. If she had just talked about that whole relationship and not anything else, I think she could convince that guy that she doesn't know anything about the Charlotte person. Yeah,
that was what I didn't get, is she should have lied more about not knowing who the hell Charlotte was or her having a kid, because, her saying, I hate her, that's why I was coming over, was, this, look at my ID, I'm not this person, blah, blah, blah. But she didn't mention once that she didn't know about the kid, and that would have been my first thing. Who the hell is Charlotte?
Yes. All you have to talk about is like, oh no, she's working in my magazine. I don't like her. I don't trust her. She could have just talked about all that and not have to even acknowledge that. I thought that would have been the way to go, but she did not. So instead, she just wanted to have an egg white omelet with some greens. If we could do that, that'd be fantastic. And her, when they came back with toast, her attempt to get out, like, kick the toaster out, and then I'm going to run, like, you're not going to escape, Maxie, please. Just give it up. So now we're back again with somebody with a faulty water heater that's leaking gas. So much like the Shades of Sam, back in the days of Creepy Jake, we've got Maxie having to deal with that. I think that Maxie will be smarter than Sam was, I think.
I'm hoping so, even though they share shoes, so they always fall. But, and I feel like if Maxie doesn't get out, it'll be Griffin who saves her and not Nathan, just to bring a rift between them that's already sort of forming because, not trusting her and things like that.
I did like, though, when Nathan's trying to figure out where Maxie is, I think I know where she is, and goes to Claudette's hotel room. And when she's like, no, somebody tossed my room, and I'm just trying to get out of town super fast. Like, Claudette's like, I don't have time for this. I have to go. And when they open the door and everything's clean again, she's like, they play it like it's like, who did this? I'm like, there's maid service that is in a hotel. I'm sure they just cleaned it,
Yeah, and that's my thing is what excellent maid service the Metro Court has. Because, I've been to hotels and it's like they really half-ass it. But it was like, all right, there was absolutely nothing that happened there according to the, look of the room, which was pretty funny. And it's just like, if I'd have been the guy, though, I would have put, like, the do not disturb on it in case he left some evidence. But good job for, thinking through the maid coming in and cleaning it, and then Claudette looks like a liar again.
I'm still trying to figure out, so, all right, we are assuming that Charlotte is not Claudette's, but she's been around Charlotte long enough that Charlotte thinks that Claudette is her mother. But is she... And we're thinking maybe Lulu and Stavros is, but does Valentine have any connection with Stavros? Because he's been kind of like ostracized from the Cassadine family. So like, how would he have Charlotte?
I feel that he is after Charlotte because she's a Cassadine, just like he was after Spencer, because he wants to be the only Cassadine heir. He killed Nicholas, he went after Spencer. So if she is a because that's the only way it makes sense to me is if she's a Cassadine. Would he have any interest?
So then I wonder how does Charlotte end up in Claudette's hands? That's one thing I don't understand yet, and I guess it'd be cool to figure out what the deal with that is. Yeah,
because I feel that I've always felt that Nathan could turn out to be a Cassadine because of the way he looks, and it's just such a cop-out not to make that happen. And when Ulbrich talked about his father is worse than Victor Cassadine, so it's like, oh, really? Then there's a lot of other Cassadines that could be worse, like Valentine or something like that. And there could be that Claudette maybe found out these things, because that's what she does, and so maybe she started to visit some of his family, like Valentine.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know. Do you think? I wonder. Could you think that Valentine could be Nathan's father? Do you feel like the age there? I mean, I don't know if the ages would line up.
They never do on soaps. That's why I'm like, I felt that because he's supposedly the most evil Cassadine, that he was going to turn out to be Nathan's father because Obrick said he was worse than Victor. That's your only choice. But at the same time, I mean, they've changed so many things. But, you know, be silly if they didn't go there just because of everything's sort of lining up.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, and it could be, I guess, Obrick could have been wooed by a younger man. I mean, we've certainly seen with Ava and Morgan, so that could have happened. Victor could have used or Valentine could have used his charms there on an older Liesl Obrick.
Yeah, I could see that.
Yeah, look at that, Valentine. So let's find out how long this plays out. But, I mean, regardless, we're waiting to see how quickly Valentine's going to hop on the canvas. And who knows?
We desperately need him because this week was so boring.
I mean, we figure out that, I mean, and Griffin at least and Nathan came to their senses and realized, hey, if this is happening here in Port Charles, the best person to get into contact with is with Anna.
Yeah.
She's got expertise. She's with the WSB now. She knows the Cassadines. She'd be great. And I don't even know why Claudette is like, oh, guys, you're putting this on me such last second here. You're really, making me, feel pressure about this. Which they're saying, like, what have you been doing to us the whole time?
Exactly. And I like that, Griffin went to Anna because that makes so much sense. And to me, it's like, how is Griffin even talking to Claudette? Because she's like, oh, Nathan would have been more protective. It's like, hey, I get that he's a doctor priest, but he's a pretty good guy, in great shape, has connections. Yeah, she didn't know about Duke and Anna and all that, but still, it's like, you put her in Nathan's orbit just because he's a cop? I don't see any difference between them physically.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it made no sense, but at least it did open up for Griffin to go to Anna and ask for her help. That part I liked, yeah.
But I feel bad when it turns out it's not really Griffin's kid.
Yeah, that's going to suck. Because Anna's going to want to bond with it because, it's a piece of Duke again.
And the frustrating thing is, as we've seen, like, I feel like with Claudette's character, like, they've already kind of burned her with Nathan, they burned her with Griffin, so then what do? When everything gets revealed and it finds out that it's not really Griffin's child, and I don't see how either of them would want to get with Claudette again, no matter what. I don't think there's a way she could spin it now to make either one of them go like, yeah, you're right, I want to be with you still.
Yeah, that's the sad part is I was kind of hoping for, the quadrangle to be a little bit more equal with Claudette, Maxie, Griffin, Nathan, and being, Maxie and Griffin kind of going together and Nathan and Claudette, because Nathan and Claudette were really interesting and had great chemistry. But yeah, I feel like screw her after this. Yeah, and not literally.
No. I mean, I feel like Nathan, no matter how, because I did like Nathan when told Maxie straightforward, it's like, yeah, I can't talk to Claudette. She knows me too well. She knows how to play me. So I got to talk to Griffin. So at least he realizes that Claudette can run circles around him. And so I do like that. But I still don't think even after all this that she could run circles around him to get him to like, okay. Let's do it.
Yeah, I feel like that ship has sailed, and with both of them. Even Griffin, when he's like attracted to her, but he doesn't like her at all. That's what's so funny is they're playing it like that he thinks she's this awful person, which we all do too. But and Cheryl Hawk told us that James Patrick Stewart is 49 and Ryan Pivey is 32. So in soap years, that could work out, and they may play them older or younger.
Yeah, I don't know. A little, May December romance between Valentine and Liesl, maybe. We'll see what happens. As we're talking about Anna, so she's back in town with the WSB. She does have a little time, though, to hop on board the Morgan Corinthos death guild train. She, like everybody in Port Charles, is wanting to take responsibility for this. Like, come on, guys, please. Is there somebody that will not take responsibility for this? So her week's already feeling kind of sad, and she's feeling kind of restless. Why am I here? What am I doing? I have an offer from Robert to be in the WSB, maybe train some people in Geneva, but she decides to stay in Port Charles.
I really like that it was Andre to just kind of talk to her, as, her therapist and her friend, and kind of talk her out of it. Like, you have stuff here. Don't worry about it. Because we all still want them together, right, guys?
Yes.
Yeah.
All right, so seeing Andre and Anna get back together this week and have a little chat, did you see the sparks there still?
Yeah, I think they're still there. I feel that it's unfortunate that she was gone and he was gone, so you have to sort of rebuild that, but I don't see any loss of chemistry or anything there.
And because I don't feel like it's gone so far with Andre and Jordan that I feel like, oh yeah, they're a great couple. They click so well. I want to see them together. No, nothing's changed. I don't really see Andre and Jordan as like a long-term kind of thing.
I don't think so, because Jordan doesn't have that fire that she does with Curtis or with Sean. With Andre, she gets mad at him, but it's not the same. And I feel that she's with Andre because she thinks that's what she should be doing, not what she really wants.
And she bought him that dumb hat.
I liked the hat.
Come on, that hat's terrible. No. I can't imagine if a woman gave me that hat. Here you go. Here's this hat. All right, well, see you later. I don't know. I think we'll just stay friends, maybe. Why not? Somebody else. What I did love, my favorite person to jump on board the Morgan Death Train guilt trip party was the bartender at the Floating Rib. Come on. The bartender feels terrible. He says he shouldn't have kept his keys. Like that's what your responsibility as a bartender. You do that. You hold your keys. So please, whatever. When I found out the bartender was feeling bad about this, like, stop it, people, please.
Yeah, it's like everyone feels terrible. And this is one of the things that frustrated me so much this week is everybody's playing the blame game and we all see where it's leading. It's all Ava's fault. No. It's whoever planted the bomb, which I hope is Sonny, and it's Morgan. Morgan made all these choices, because here's the thing, as someone who knows bipolar disorder in and out and has seen this, medication really doesn't mean that much. It is all about the therapy. And to be honest, most people shouldn't even be on medication because it's very dangerous. And especially Morgan is a little bit older in his 20s, which is not as bad, but especially for younger people, it is so dangerous to have them on these meds. And it's been really irresponsible how they've sort of portrayed this now after doing it so well when Brian was here. Mm-hmm. So it's just very frustrating to see that they're putting it all on that when it's just like, no. He should have been taught coping skills and eventually be weaning off of that. Now, I know there's people who are on medication for all their life, but they really, and it does work for some people. It's not as dangerous, but especially with lithium, you have to have your blood tested every month because it is that dangerous. So I don't understand their quick 180 of, oh, that's all. It's not.
Because it felt like, as we saw with Ava and Liesl when they were talking there at the Metro Court, Liesl starts kind of leaning like, Carly, I know firsthand that when she has like an idea, she will not let go. She wants to finish something to the end. So if she's going to want to know, she's want to have an answer to every single question leading up to Morgan's death. And part of that is going to be, what about the medication? And when you see Ava, it's like, oh, what? There's no way we could test now. I mean, Morgan's dead. There's no body. How do we know? Well, we just get the original medication. We test that, and we see if anything's been tampered with the prescription. So, as we see, Carly starts going through all of that as well. And one of the things she does is she wants to talk to Andre. And, I feel like when Andre takes his moment to hop on board the guilt trip train, I'm like, oh, okay.
And Andre's made sense as his doctor. I was like, and his was also very brief. It didn't go on and on and on. It was like, I feel really guilty. I really liked Morgan. Okay, that's exactly how everyone should have been. Yes. Quick.
And so but I also feel like, because Carly's big thing is like, why did you ever let him out? Why did you ever let him out of that institution there? Because clearly he wasn't ready. Like, well, I mean, we watched their sessions and stuff. They felt like, I don't think Andre is that poor of a psychologist to let him out if Morgan wasn't ready to go.
Yeah, and that's the thing is Morgan had shown progress, and then it started to wean off. And as I say, it's really irresponsible for them to start blaming the meds in that situation, because Morgan is responsible for his own volition. And to say that you are not responsible for a mental illness that is something like bipolar, where you have to learn to manage it, but it's not considered an insanity defense. And that's the kind of stuff where they start to get dangerous. And I know it's 2016 and everyone has something that's, responsible for their actions except for them. But guess what? It's not. I mean, sorry, just like, drinking and driving. If you kill somebody because you were drunk, it's the same thing as killing yourself if you're bipolar. It's unfortunate, but it is your responsibility to manage yourself.
Because after like Sonny, certainly he has that condition as well too. But he also drinks.
And he shouldn't, but
But he manages it.
Exactly.
Except for this past couple of weeks where it's just like, oof, man, rough. We'll get to that in a moment there. But I'm thinking, and certainly he's got a longer length of time dealing with this. So as you were saying, having better coping mechanisms. Morgan, more freshly diagnosed, is still learning how to get everything under control. So, Yeah, I feel like it's weird just to blame like everything. Like if I have to see another shot of Ava swapping the pills again and like blaming it just on that.
Yeah. And that's the stuff that I'm like, that's where you're getting into territory that is just like BS. And that's me sugarcoating again, because it's like, if you're going to blame it all on Ava switching the meds, shame on you, writers. Because the thing is it's whoever planted the bomb that ultimately killed Morgan, and Morgan did all these actions. Because here's the thing is, even if he was on his medication, all of the crap that went down with Kiki, with Dylan, with Sonny, Carly, all of that led to this. So in a way, everyone is at fault, but everyone includes Morgan.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, we saw him trying, online gambling again, doing things like that. I mean, he made the choice of deciding to cheat online, get that test.
Yeah.
And yelling at Darby, like, why didn't you tell me that I had to go find, like, the special vetting software to put inside there to make sure that it wasn't throwing up any red flags? Like, well, why didn't he actually just call Darby? Instead of just...
Yeah, exactly. Well, and that's the thing is, like, they're making Morgan so dependent on this medication that it's pathetic, and it really is a shame to have written a storyline so well, and Brian Craig did such a good job to, like, basically ruin it and pretty much say, if you're bipolar, you're completely useless without your meds, you're a complete moron, you're manic, you're depressed, everything's all over the place, and it's just like, that's just not how it is. And again, it's like, shame on them. And I know Tommy Orsini in the chat says, but according to the show, Morgan went on the downward spiral due to his medication being switched. But I'm saying, it's like, yeah, they can say what they want, but they need to be more responsible in dealing with a mental illness. And yeah. Sorry.
No, because there were so many back and forths with Morgan, too. I mean, they had that really nice moment where Sonny and Morgan have the nice talk in the park about, like, thinking through your actions. What are the repercussions of that? And then immediately Morgan goes and starts attacking Julian. Like, just moments after we have that scene. And I'm like, clearly this is a person that is choosing not to listen to this advice. I mean, you listened to it, you processed it, you thought it was a good way to approach things, and then the second you see Julian, you threw it all out the window and decided to start swinging.
Exactly, and that's the thing, is like, whether he was on or off his medication, Morgan would have acted the same way, and that's the kind of stuff that is really annoying, because we saw this, pre-medication, on the medication, so it really doesn't matter.
And, I'm going to just throw this out right now. I'm going to say the person behind the bomb was Valentine Cassadine.
I feel that they'll go that way just for a cop-out for Sonny, but I'm sorry, but, you're really screwing the pooch on, that's the best possible scenario to make this mean anything.
Yeah.
And they're going to puss out.
No, they're just going to basically say, Valentine's mad that Sonny helped incarcerate him right there. He didn't let him get a hold of Spencer, and so he's got his ear to the ground. All his little networks, knows about the animosity between Julian and Sonny, and says, "All right, guess what? I'm going to do this and make it framed up to look like Sonny." Killing Morgan was just the little cherry on top.
Yeah, exactly. It's like, great. And Sebastian K points out in the chat. I don't say this much, but I'm bipolar and I've never taken any meds, and I've been fine all my life. I don't see the point on why they're saying meds are everything. Exactly, Sebastian. My brother doesn't take medication. What he does is watch himself. He, has a full-time job. He focuses on work. He focuses on playing the guitar. You have to have something in your life to focus on so you don't think about those things. And that's what, real therapy would teach you, not soap therapy. No offense to Andre. I love you.
No, Andre's the best. Man, all right. Let's just jump right into it. We've been dancing around Sonny a little bit here. Man, please, let's just fast forward through this hour, or just, can we see most of it taking place off camera? This whole week of just Sonny on this downward spiral was killing me.
And that's my thing, is like, again, if they switch it up and make it somebody else who planted the bomb, what's the whole point of the Sonny downward spiral? Oh, Carly walked out on me. If that's it, Sonny's a big fucking pussy. I'm sorry.
Yeah, no, it's I just know they're not gonna hang that on Sonny. They're just not. There's just no way they're gonna do that for him, because he's too integral to the show. I mean, as much as he is like a mob person, he is considered a hero within the community of the show.
Yeah, and they had Luke sort of pass the baton as patriarch, but at the same time, it's just like, Morgan could come back as alive or recast if Brian's not coming back to the show, and then thus, no one died, it's okay. Just like with the situation where he put a bomb in Johnny's car. Christina was hit, but didn't die, so everyone acts like it's okay. And I think that's the difference, is we all know that Morgan will come back at some point, just like Lucky did when he came out of the fire. But at least with the Lucky dying in the fire storyline, Sonny and Jason got blamed for that. And they were never forgiven by Luke and Laura until much later when Lucky came back.
No, it's very true.
And again, it's like you guys used to do those storylines, and that's the stuff that's great, is because there is some long-term consequence. But again, it's really, disappointing that in 2016 we're allowed to show stuff that is horrible, like being a mobster and blowing up your kid, not having any long-term consequences.
No, we saw Luke thinking at the time that he killed Jake.
Yeah.
And Jake was off the canvas for quite a while. And then also just before Luke leaves, they kind of just wiped everything away and they brought him back. So I felt like they were just kind of cleaning off all of the markers on Luke. It's like, all right, no, Luke, you're okay. It wasn't bad. you were fine the whole time. No worries. And now I still feel like we have not made any progress on that story.
Yeah.
Like, all right, when's this thing with Jake going to finally start rolling into motion?
Exactly. And wasn't there some big, mystery with the Cassadines? But, just like everything else, they forgot about it.
Yeah, maybe when Valentine gets back, maybe we'll see more of that coming into play. But, man, it's from Helena's will till now, there's been so little movement on most of those storylines.
Yeah, and I do get that the whole Nicholas situation was abrupt, and, there were certain things that they couldn't help. But at the same time, it's like, you know what? We're to a point where you could have worked that out by now. Like, get somewhere with it, because we'd way rather hear about the Cassadines and the Quartermaines and then the freaking Corinthos family. I'm so over it.
Yeah. And so we just see Sonny spiraling. And what's so weird about this is somebody tweeted about that, and I was like, I just hope, please, about Sonny and Nell. I was like, I hope this is something that just happens off camera. But Nell is, I don't understand Nell at all this week. She's just she just so wants to just tomp on Sonny, it seems like, because she just keeps hovering around and staying way too long in rooms with them, trying to hey, people are here for you. You've got a lot of people that are here to help you.
Yeah, and that's the thing, is I get her being bonded to Carly and to Jocelyn and even Michael and Morgan, but to Sonny, it's just like, okay, are they going to have them have sex? Because at this point, if that happens and Carly goes back to Sonny, Carly, Corinthos, Benson, Jax, whatever she is dead to me. Because, that's the thing, is if he does have sex with this young girl who's clearly trying to infiltrate this family for some reason, and I'm kind of thinking she's a Jax somehow, because he is coming back, thank God. But yeah, this whole Nell thing is she came on sort of interesting, but this is almost ruining her character and turning her into Carly Jr.
Yeah, I still don't know the deal with her. It just seems so. We keep seeing these little momentary flare-ups of this kind of seething anger underneath her. But I don't know what it's directed towards or what her agenda is.
Yeah, to me, I would totally be cool if she's drugging Sonny and framing him to look like he's worse, and she turns out to be a Jax. That's where they could save this storyline, because Jax needs some more kids. Or even Jerry. If she's Jerry's daughter, that would be way more interesting. But yeah, all the chat seems to think that Nell is creepy. Marcella Morales, Nakisha Jones, and Sarah C. points out Nell wants to be Carly. And I do see that single white female thing going on there, yeah.
Yeah, but there's just no way that they're going to, I don't think they're going to write this in that direction, because they've done this too many times where Sonny has been in a low point in his life and he's hooked up with the wrong person just momentarily.
Yeah, Emily, that was disgusting.
Or, Ava in the crypt.
Yeah.
Things like that. And I just think, I can't see them breaking up Sonny and Carly. I don't think that's what they've been through so many ups and downs in their multiple marriages. Because if they did decide to break them up, then I never want to see them together again.
Exactly. And especially if all this is true, Morgan being blown up and things like that by Sonny and this revenge against Julian, there is no saving Carly's character if she goes back to Sonny in this situation, because whether it turns out Morgan's alive or not, it's still you thought he was dead because of Sonny. Or with Nell, it's just okay, if he has sex with this young girl in this grief, and I know that's grief is just soap opera oysters, as far as an aphrodisiac, apparently.
Because even if something turns out, and Sonny's not the one responsible for this bomb, somehow, he was able to get, the broker called off the hit, somebody else put a bomb there, and maybe it was Valentine Cassadine that did it. Still, Carly's fears about Sonny's lifestyle encroaching on their family are still valid.
Exactly. That's the thing, is whether he did or he didn't, ultimately, this is because of mob violence. That if he doesn't leave the mob, the point is moot.
And the way, if they're kind of treated where all of a sudden Ava's secrets are going to be revealed, because somebody, even though she's able to successfully get inside the house, get the pills out of there, she just dumps them in some garbage can down the alley, and then somebody's following behind her and like pulls them out of the garbage can. Some mysterious gloved hand.
Oh, the gloved hand.
Well, we'll get to the gloved hand in a second. So going back to Nell, we see Ava going in there, and she gets to hang out with Nell for a little bit in Morgan's bedroom as she's trying to get the pills, and she drops them underneath the bed. Like, oh, okay. So seeing Ava and Nell like have that conversation was just so weird. Like,
Yeah, it's like they're both kind of creepy in that situation.
Yeah.
I mean, and I get Ava's point for being there, but like with Nell, it's like, why did she walk into Morgan's room too? It's like, did she? No, maybe if she heard Ava, but she's like, what are you like? Bust in, like, what are you doing in here? It's like, what are you doing in here? Like, and I love how people are like, wish they'd reveal while Nell is really in Port Charles. Same with the young guy running the coffee shop from Kelly and PEI, and then Michael B is like, yeah, what the hell happened to Christina's boyfriend? Is he a cop or not? Same thing is like,
yeah.
Him, Aaron, and Nell have these things about them that they're clearly after Sonny. So explain it.
Yeah, it's like, when are you going to reveal what the other side is about? And so far, they haven't done any of that. But I will say, like, Ava, man, one of the worst parents ever, because like the way that she uses Avery as an excuse, because this seems to be late at night. I would imagine like 8, 9 at night. I imagine that she's going over. Clearly, Avery's in bed. Why do you keep going over super late at night to visit your child? Go there during the day, like a normal person.
I don't get it.
And it's only, I mean, we know your real reason is not to visit Avery. You could care less about seeing Avery. You just want to get those pills. And so, but still, it's just like, I came here to see my daughter. I'd really like to see my daughter. It's 9 at night, Ava. What are you doing?
Yeah, and it's funny because they'll go 2 steps forward with Ava, like they actually consoling Sonny and caring about Morgan, and then saying that, you know, biting her tongue and saying that Carly is needed by Avery too. It's like, those are nice moments. And then it's all about you taking the pills. It's like you just ruin it. Like, why?
And then to hear her just saying, like, I will never forgive Ava. All right.
Well, and to me, it's just like nothing Ava has done, whether they want to blame the med switch on, you know, Morgan's death and stuff like that. Nothing Ava has done even remotely compares to the long list of crimes that Sonny and Carly have both committed. And that's the thing, is like, Ava is not good, but neither are you guys.
And I did like when Sonny tells Ava, like, you were the worst thing that ever happened to Morgan. She's like, that's not true.
Yeah.
That's not true. You can't say that. That is honestly not true. We really cared about each other. We loved each other. Which, I mean, yeah, for a time, yes, definitely. Certainly Ava's actions against Morgan at the end were kind of, for somebody that you clearly still care about so much. Oof, maybe not the, you know, not really the good sign of somebody that you genuinely care for. You're going to, even if it wasn't the contributing factor, it's still not a smart thing to do.
Yeah, it's unfortunate, and it is a terrible thing to do, but at the same time, Ava did that to protect her daughter, and while I think the act is completely insane, but the motivation there was somewhat nice. I mean, I'm trying to at least forgive Ava a little bit, because the whole point was to get Kiki to see how dangerous he is, but unfortunately it didn't end well.
No, and I mean, Ava's just going to be on the outs. As soon as this is found out, both Carly and Sonny are going to come after her. I mean, and so Carly's going to change her tune from like, I don't want violence anymore, to like, she killed my boy, I did like her saying that, my perfect little boy. Like, oh, such a cliche thing to say. My perfect little boy is gone now. So she's gonna come to Sonny like, all right, I changed my tune. Now you've got to kill her. You've got to kill Ava.
And that's the part that I'm like, okay, they're going towards that, and that's such BS. Because again, like I say, even if that is, you know, what supposedly sent Morgan over the edge, it's like there were so many other factors in that you can't even compare the switching of the meds. That there was a ton of things that led up to it.
Yeah, I mean, it's with Morgan, like, it was just, well, of course, soap opera timing. Like, you know, when you're at your worst, everything's going to pile on to you. And so we've got everything, whether it be getting expelled from school, we've got the Kiki and Dylan possibly, definitely reconnecting. Him assuming more than what really happened at the time, but definitely was heading in that direction. So it was just a bunch of things happening at the same time, plus him drinking, plus him getting on the, a wheel of a car while he's, drunk as a skunk. All these things led to also somebody randomly placing a bomb in Julian's car that he just happened to hop behind the wheel that night. Just...
Yeah, as I say, there was like a million things that could be blamed for it. So if they're going to try and pin all this on Ava or just pin it all on Sonny, well, I think, agree if someone put the bomb in the car, but it is Morgan's actions that led to him stealing that car. So, they should play the blame game, and it's everybody. But ultimately, it was Morgan's choice, and it was Sonny's choice to plant the bomb, if that's him. All right.
And I mean, okay, so soaps, they're both an escape, but then you also want to kind of be a reflection on real life as well. So, I mean, the loss of a son, very tragic thing for any family to go through. But I'm also thinking, like, man, how long do we deal with this before we start moving on from it? And me, as I said last week, I'm dead inside. So for me, I'm like, I'm ready to just go like the day after. Let's just move on to like fun adventures across the sea or something like that. I don't know, whatever we're going to do. But I mean, so far we've been spending 2 weeks with this. And then Carly tells Sonny, guess what? Morgan's funeral, I've already set the date for it. It's going to be November 11th, which I'm thinking is like almost a month.
Yeah,
since he blew up.
I know. And I'm like, why is it taking so long? Because and that's what, makes me think, oh my God, we're going to deal with this till then. And again, it's like, I get why everyone's sad, the loss of a son, and they don't need to forget about it. But at the same time, let's move on and focus on some different stories with different people.
Yes.
That's the thing, is we still have a whole lot of people who weren't related to Morgan, surprisingly.
Yeah, and it's just like, I don't know if I want to watch weeks upon weeks of people wallowing in self-pity and regret, and if I would have, if I should have, do I want to see that? Ugh, I don't. And I can only mention everything's kind of being lined up in place that, so when the funeral does happen on November 11th, we've already got a date, mark it on your calendars, folks. Some kind of big dramatic reveal is going to happen at that point. Something's going to go down on that day. We've got plenty of lead time to kind of lead all the storylines up to get us to that point. So, yeah, the writers planted a big red flag. Watch November 11th because something is going to happen on that day.
Well, but it could just be like the Liz and Jason wedding where, they're like November 6th, and nothing really happened. And it was like, you've teased us with November sweeps before and then backed out. So I'll believe it when I see it.
Yeah. And so we've had other people. Well, we also have Dante, his young brother, which I did like him talking about, we talked about going to a Yankees game. And you know what? I didn't even bother looking online for tickets or anything. Him assuming so much of the burden of his failure to be a big brother to Morgan was so ridiculous in that sentence. That could have been something Morgan mentioned once. Hey, we should go catch a Yankees game. Many people mention in passing about doing something. And then Dante is just seizing upon that one moment and magnifying it to be like, if I had only gone with him to that Yankees game, everything would be different. He would still be alive right now. Easy, Dante. Easy.
And that is the thing, is family members tend to do that. And so far, I've liked Dante's perspective on this because he is a cop, he is the good one, and he is the one that let Sonny get off for shooting him. So I see the guilt factor there. But yeah, the Yankees thing was just, and it's not just because I hate the Yankees.
So Jordan has to go and talk to him and say, hey, can you be impartial? This could be turning out to be your father's the one responsible for this. Could you arrest your father? I haven't heard many times. We have to have somebody asking Dante this question. All right, Dante said yes. So, all right, let's just let it go and let's let him see if it actually happens, if he can do it.
Yeah, that would be. And this is the type of stuff that I wish had been here all along. The conflict between Dante and Sonny, because they got too close to me. Considering that Dante is this good guy, and I get that him and Sonny may be bonding over when he cheated on Lulu, because then he was crap like his dad. But the thing is Dante overall is this good person. So the fact that he's been okay with some of the stuff that Sonny's done was not good for his character. So if they want to take it back in the direction of when he first came on the show, thank God, because a lot of people have called Dante a hypocrite because of the fact that didn't care about AJ, didn't care about all this other crap that went on with the mob for years, even after Sonny shot him in cold blood.
So at the end of the week, we find out that something has been discovered. They found something at the crash site. So now we're going to find out what it is. He goes to talk to Carly and Sonny, and something's been revealed. What do you think they could have found at the crash site?
Oh, God, that's the thing, is I probably found a piece of the bomb that's going to exonerate Sonny, or just, oh no, this wasn't my bomb, this was somebody else's bomb. I mean, that's sort of the thing that I'm like, oh, it's some big reveal, but...
Yeah, I don't know, because it's not going to be like a hand. It's not going to be anything like that.
Yeah, it's not, and that's the thing, is the remains they found were very little, just Adam on Y&R, so you know that the whole point is because they're going to recast and you're not going to see that much. So that's the thing, is I don't see them finding any remains or anything to confirm his death again, but it's going to be something that makes them question that Sonny didn't do it.
Although I'd be curious to see, like, because I mean that car went up really big and he was standing right there.
Yeah, right. He was standing outside of the car right next to it, despite what everyone says in the dialogue.
I mean, regardless of being, you're not coming away from that without something, I think some part of you missing or some kind of scar or something on him. So I'll be curious to see when Morgan comes back. If he comes back pristine, I'm going to be like, what happened? You were next to a exploding car, my man, and you came back with not a scratch?
Yeah, we need a new DA, so as I said, he can lose half his face and be Two-Face.
I would welcome that.
Yeah,
that would be awesome. He needs a new, let him lie off the canvas for like a year or two, just enough time to be able to get a quick law degree. And then he can come back as Two-Face and like, I'm ready to serve. I'm going to, with this coin, just kind of flicking it around there.
Yeah, he could always go through the Law School of American Samoa like Saul Goodman. It's quick, easy, get that, Morgan, and then, great story. Much better than we've seen.
We're going to take a moment to talk about a story that I am not jazzed about. And that, man, Sam and Jason, you are killing me, people. I honestly, after watching this week, and when they said that they maybe might move to Aurora or whatever, the town outside, I was like, let them move and let's never hear of them again. They are boring, and I'm sorry, folks. I know there are others JSAM's people, and I know we get like in the chat and the tweets about, hey, JSAM's the best. Like, come on, folks, please be honest. Be honest. If you in the chat right now, just tell me why you were invested with them as a couple, because there is nothing going on with them.
Oh yeah, I mean, I like them before they got back together here, and then when it was, and it's not an actor thing, because yes, when Steve Burton was here, the story was better with Sam. So that's the thing, is like it's the story that is just so freaking boring, and it was like, oh my god, like when Sam is in scenes with other people, I'm like, yes, this is great. Like, especially with the Davis girls. Those are excellent scenes. And then with Jason, like, I hate to admit it, but his scenes with, like, Morgan and Michael and Carly and, Tracy, he's so much better. That's the thing, is they can't write a good story about them, put them apart. I mean, it sucks, just like with Carly and Sonny, that if you feel like you break them up, you don't want to get them back together, but at the same time, it isn't working, so fix it.
It's not with these two. I think people were more excited about seeing them get together when they weren't together, when Jake Doe was on the canvas, and they were kind of working their way towards together. You had something to root for, but man, it's this is just, I've never seen like two characters like get together and then they're just momentum just stop. Like their scenes together are excruciating to get through. I have zero interest in that. And like, as a couple, I'm fine just shipping them off. I mean, or either ship them off or break them up. And I feel like you can't break them up because you're talking about having a baby, and they're making these, commitments to like not wanting to get involved, like Sonny and Carly. You don't want to be in that kind of business anymore.
I at least can respect that from them, because the fact, if they were to go right into that, it would be worse. But at the same time, it's like, okay, if they're not going to do that, which is good, let's give them something else. And yeah, Doolaman says J-Sam is Snooze City, and Tomi Osini says they really ruined Jason and Sam, and our Melvin fans like, I love J-Sam, but their story is boring. I agree. And Akeisha's like, they ruined him. So yeah, we're not even having any real supporters anymore.
Yeah, it's just and we've talked ad nauseum on the show about things that we loved about Jake Doe and Sam that they could do with them back involved with the Quartermaines and being more on the corporate side, working on corporate security or something like that. We've talked about that ad nauseum, so we're not going to get into that again. But it just shows that there is potential, like you were saying, that there is things for them on the show that they could do if the writers chose to push them in that direction. And for whatever reason, the writers aren't, and I don't know what the writers' plan is, because they've been staying in this kind of orbit right now for so long, and I don't know what the deal is.
Yeah, because Sarah C. points out, I only find Jason and Sam interesting when they were on a case together or mob business. Okay, so mob is obviously out of the question because that's going to ruin them, but why can't Jason join Sam with the PI? That's not that dangerous. They could be investigating just like sort of, cheating spouses, things like that. That's a way to get them an adventure without being bad parents. But like you say, why are the writers not doing that?
Yeah, I just cannot. I don't want to see them sitting on a couch and the music starts pumping in, the J-Sam jam. I'm like, that just kills me. And then, the baby's kicking. This baby's kicking. Like, I can't just.
Yeah, Michael B is like, yeah, change that goddamn J-Sam song. It's like, yeah, and most people are like, yeah, put them on a case. And to me, with that whole Jake, Cassadine stuff lying there, it's like, why aren't we having? To me, here's a perfect idea, writers. Just steal it from me. You don't even have to pay me. Just do this. But Liz, Franco, Jason, Sam, and the kids on an adventure so that they're not crappy parents to find out what happened with Jake. They go to Cassadine Island. That way, everyone's happy. It makes sense. You've got conflict because of the Franco being there. Then, yeah, that makes perfect sense. Why are they not doing it?
It's I miss those days, kind of when Luke and Laura first got introduced back on the canvas again, and Lucky was on board. Lucky, for a little bit, was part of the adventures and stuff like that. So, I mean, we don't often see kids out on the adventures. They're always considered more like grown-up activities, and the kids are just kind of, we never see them. They're just off with relatives or something like that. So it'd be cool, like, all right, let's get everybody together.
Well, and to me, we've had Lucky, Robin, Emma even went on the adventure with Sam and Patrick.
Yeah.
And with Anna and stuff like that. It's like, you don't have to leave the kids at home, especially when they're like, more like adults with the stuff that you have Jake and say and stuff. And then, who's it? Devon is the one says, maybe the writers want us to be bored with them, so when and if Steve Burton comes back, we'll appreciate them together a lot more. I like that. And then Marcela Morales wants to point out, Frank is such a cynic, but LOL.
I am, guys. This week was such a killer to me.
Yeah, it was not good. I'm like, Daytime was crap this week.
It was and so please, guys, just writers, if you're going to keep these two actors on the show, I can't imagine either of them are excited about the scripts they're getting. Like, I really like where our characters are going right now, because you're just going in circles.
Yeah, and Devon is the one points out, because this is a great storyline I remember from One Life to Live, how to keep us awake during the storyline. Tale of Two Dogs / Jason, the sequel. So yeah, we bring Steve and have Billy Miller there too, and then, oh no, he's always been Jake Doe. He's sort of this Frankenstein, Helena Cassadine monster. Again, same thing with the Franco storyline. Easy.
Oh, I would be absolutely down for that. Yeah. I would absolutely be down for that. That'd be great. Oh man. That'd be so awesome. So actually, one couple that is kind of working well. I mean, they're starting to. They're kind of. Some things irritate me about are Hayden and Finn.
Yeah, that was me one of the really good spots this week, because I like that she was like, this guy is a pig, this is awful, like, not going to do this. But then when she realized, she's like, I can really help Finn. And I like that when she got there, she had this whole plan. And it was like, I can drink him under the table. Like, I was faking it. It's like, that was so great for Hayden to really take charge of that situation. And she only needed Finn to help her get the guy on the bed.
No, that was great. Very much like a Marion from Raiders of the Lost Ark moment. Just kind of drinking him under there. And what I like, though, about Finn, when he finally, his conscience gets to him, he's jealousy. He goes to the room to figure out what the deal is. You can tell he wants to stop whatever's happening in there. Sees what Hayden's been doing. I mean, he has a moment where he's kind of, but he sticks with her. What I like is they seem to be accepting of each other's warts and all their flaws. Finn the writers could easily use that as a moment where Finn's completely offended, like, how dare you try to do something like this? I don't even know who you are, and just leaves. But no, he stays with her, and it's like, the room's spinning. He's like, no, I'm here, and they're just sitting there. I just like that moment where they realized that their purposes weren't evil. They had good intentions about what they're trying to do, and they're willing to stay with each other through that.
Yeah, and that's what I liked, is like they were really understanding of each other in that, not the, oh, that's horrible, but I felt like that wouldn't have fit Finn's character, because it was funny when he's being jealous with Tracy, but then when he sees what really happened, it's like, that was all about me, and he felt like really flattered, and that's what I liked. It's like, yeah.
And I do like Hayden, it's like, you're jealous because you wanted to be, you only want me to be with you, and that's it. That's like so that, two things that could just tweak this, because they're such a fun couple that seem to be able to embrace each other's kind of weaknesses and stuff, and not get hung up on that. It's just, let's just fast forward through Finn and this illness, just please, and then whatever him and his ex-wife Rick, or his dead wife Rico, just push past those two things.
Yeah, and I have a feeling with Robin coming back, maybe that's what everybody's been hoping for, is that she'll cure Finn and we can get past this and on to some more stuff. Because, their relationship is actually really entertaining. And, like, Tracy being in the mix could, soften Tracy towards Hayden again and bring Hayden into ELQ. Yeah,
because she's so fond of Finn that if Finn was really in love with Hayden, I'm sure that couldn't help but, change Tracy's opinion never. And I did like that moment between Finn and Tracy right there in the Metro Court where Tracy's saying, you could either spend your time just pursuing this relationship or you could try curing yourself. But if you try curing yourself, you'll have more time to pursue the relationship. And I thought, but it was nice advice. She goes like, yeah, I like that moment between Finn and Tracy.
Yeah, because to me, it wasn't her pushing him away from Hayden. It was her being concerned for him, and then also for the fact if that's what you want, that's great. Do this first, though.
Yeah, just get yourself better. So let's hope that happens sooner. I love that. If Robin gets back, because I know she's coming back at the end of the month, and in November she's coming in November.
I think so, yeah.
Jax and Robin back on the canvas. Please give Jax something more to do, please. This better be the total reveal about what the deal is between him and Nell. If he comes back and it's not a total reveal on that, what are you guys doing?
Yeah, what's the point? And that's the thing. Same thing with the last time he showed up. What was the point of that? It solved nothing. It just was like, Jax is here for Jocelyn, which is great, but at the same time, so much should have been uncovered.
Yeah, so please, November sweeps, do not disappoint. You guys I'm placing a lot of expectations on November sweeps for this show. You got a lot to uncover. All right, and speaking of wrapping things up, though, we got to wrap this up. We've spent way too long ranting, everybody. I'm sure you're sick of us going, Frank, Lacretia, please stop your yapping and complaining. But I love it too much.
Yeah.
The show, I only complain because I love the show so much. And when it irritates me, I just, frustrates me. So thank you for letting me rant to you guys.
I know, me too. I was Frank this week.
Yes!
Yeah, that was
it's
in
that
the
seat,
chair.
everybody. It is that chair. So, folks, that's going to do it for this episode of the GH Report. But your time to connect with us is not over, though. You can like us on Facebook, give us those 5 stars on iTunes, subscribe to the YouTube channel. Thanks so much, everybody, for hopping in the chat. Appreciate all your thoughts and comments about the show, or Lacretia and I, and our opinions as well. Lacretia, if they want to continue the conversation with you even after the show's over, where can they find you?
You guys can always find me at LACRETIALYON anywhere on the internet, since there is only one, and all night here at AfterBuzz TV. Stay tuned for the Restless wrap-up. We're going to try to get some phone calls in, and also Ash vs. Evil Dead and Corey.
And remember, folks, do not spoil anything by the walking dead in this chat. Lacretia is serious. She will bounce you. Alexis in the engineering booth, she'll bounce you as well. You can follow me on
It's
Twitter.
already too late.
Uh-oh. It's already... No! Alexis.
Somebody ruined it for me, so I know.
Oh, those bastards.
Oh, guys, that's why we can't have nice things.
Yeah.
You can follow me, though, on Twitter at HappyGoJackie. And for those of you that have just been, felt the scorn of Alexis, I'm so sorry, but you brought it on yourselves. We'll see you next week, though, for an exciting guest. We're going to have actually one of the directors of GH on here to talk to us all about the technical side and bringing all these great scenes to screen for you to, so we'll have him. You can ask any questions you want of one of the directors of GH next week, right here on the GH Report on AfterBuzz TV.
From executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.